Chapter 13: How to Stop Procrastinating by Using a 2-Minute Rule. Tyler Thorpe is widely regarded as one of the greatest dancers and choreographers of the modern era. In 1992, she was awarded a MacArthur Fellowship, often referred to as Genius Grant, and she had spent the bulk of her career touring the globe to perform her original works. She also credited much of her success to simple daily habits. I begin each day of my life with a ritual. She writes, when I wake up at 5:30 a.m., I put my workout clothes, my leg warmer, my sweatshirt, and my hat. I walk outside the Manhattan home, hail a taxi, and tell the driver to take me to the Pumping Iron Gym at 91st Street, and first a venue where I work out for 2 hours. The ritual is not stretching and weight training. I put my body through each morning at the gym. The ritual is the cab. The moment I tell the driver where to go, I've completed the ritual. It's a simple act. However, doing it the same way each morning habitualizes it, make it repeatable, easy to do. It reduces the chance that I would skip it or do it differently. It is one more item in my arsenal of routines, and one less thing to think about. Hailing a cab each morning may be a tiny action. However, it is a splendid example of third law of the behavior change. Researchers estimate that 40 to 50% of our actions on any given day are done out of habit. This is really substantial percentage. However, the true influence of your habit is even greater than these numbers suggest. Habits are automatic choices that influences the conscious decision that follow. Yes, a habit can be completed in just a few seconds. However, it can also shape the action that you take for minutes or hours afterwards. Habits are like the entrance ramp to a highway. They lead you down to a path before you know it. You're speeding towards the next behavior. It seems to be easier to continue what you are already doing than to start doing something different. You sit through a bad movie for 2 hours. You keep snacking even when you are already full. You check your phone for just a second and soon you have spent 20 minutes staring at the screen. In this way, the habits you follow without thinking often determine the choices you make when you are thinking. Each evening, there is a tiny moment, usually around quarter 5 p.m., that shapes the rest of my night. My wife walks in the door from work, and either we change into our workout clothes and head to the gym, or we crash onto the couch, order Indian food, and watch The Office. Similar to the Tyler Thorpe hailing the cab, the ritual is changing into my workout clothes. When I change clothes, I know the workout will happen. Everything that follows, driving to the gym, deciding the exercise, stepping under the bar is easy ones. First, when I take the first step. Every day there are a handful of the moments that deliver an outside impact. I refer to these little choices as decisive moments. The moment you decide between ordering takeout or cooking dinner. The moment you choose between driving your car or riding your bike. The moment you decide starting your homework or grabbing the video game controller. The choice are a fork in the road. Decisive moments make good choices, good thing happens. The difference between a good day and bad day is often a few productive and healthy choices made at a decisive moment. Each one is like a fork in the road. These choices stack up to the day and can ultimately lead to a very different outcomes. Decisive movements set the options available to your future use. For instance, walking into a restaurant is a decisive movement because it determines what you will be eating for the lunch. Technically, you are in the control of what you order. However, in a larger sense, you can only order an item from the menu. When you walk into a steakhouse, you can get a sirloin or a ribeye, not sushi. Your options are constrained by what's available. They are shaped by the first choice. We are limited by where our habits lead us. This is why mastering the decisive moments throughout your day is so important. Each day is made up of many moments. However, it is really a habitual choice that determines the path you take. These little choices stack up, each one setting the trajectory of for how you spend the next chunk of time. Habits are the entry point, not the end point. They are the cab, not the gym. The 2 minutes rule. Even when you know you should start small, it's easy to start big. When you dream about making a change, excitement inevitably takes over, and you end up trying too much too soon. The most effective way I know to counteract this tendency is to use 2 minutes rule, which says when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. You will find that nearly any habit can be scaled down into a 2 minutes television. Virgin. Read before bed each night becomes read one page. Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for a class open becomes open my notes. Fold the laundry becomes fold one pair of socks. Run 3 miles become tie my running shoes. The idea is to make your habits as easy and as possible to start. Anyone can meditate for 1 minute, read one page, or put one item of clothing away. And yet, and as we have just discussed, this is a powerful strategy because once you have started doing the right thing, it is much easier to continue doing it. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. The actions that follow can be challenging. However, the first minute should be easy. What you want is a gateway habit naturally leads you down to a more productive path. You can usually figure out the gateway habits that lead you to a desired outcome by mapping out your goals on a scale from far easy to very hard. For instance, running a marathon is very hard. Running a 5K is hard. Walking 10,000 steps is moderately difficult. Walking 10 minutes is easy. And putting on your running shoes is very easy. Your goal might be to run a marathon. However, your getaway habit is to put your running shoes. That's how you follow the 2 minutes rule. Then there is a table depicting very easy, moderate, hard, and very hard habit. And I'm going to take one example. Put your running shoes is very easy. Walking 10 minutes is easy. Walking 10,000 steps is moderately hard. Running 5K is hard. And running a marathon, very hard. People often think it's weird to get hyped about reading one page or meditating for 1 minute or making a sales call. However, the point is not to do one thing. The point is to master the habit of showing up. The truth is, the habit must be established before it can be improved. When you can't learn the basic skill of showing up, then you have a little hope of mastering the finer details. Instead of trying to engineer a perfect habit for you to start, do the easy thing on a more consistent basis. You have to standardize before you can optimize. As you master the art of showing up, the first 2 minutes simply become the ritual at the beginning of the ladder routine. This is not merely a hack to make habit easier, however, actually the ideal way to master a difficult skill. The more you ritualize the beginning of the process, the more likely to become that you can slip into the state of deep focus that is required to do great things. By doing the same warm up before every workout, you make it easier to get to a state of peak performance. By following the same creative ritual, you make it easier to get into the hard work of creating. By developing a consistent power down habit, you make it easier to get to bed at reasonable time each night. You may not be able to automate the whole process, however, you can make the first action mindless. Make it easy to start, and the rest will follow. The 2 minutes rule can seem like a trick to some people. You know that real goal is to do more than just 1 minute. So it may feel like you are trying to fool yourself. Nobody is actually inspiring to read one page or do one push up or open their notes. When you know it's a mental trick, why do you fall for it? It's a 2 minute rule. Feel forced, try to do this. Do it for 2 minutes and then stop. Go for a run when you must stop after 2 minutes. Start meditating. You must stop after 2 minutes. Study Arabic. You must stop after 2 minutes. It's not a strategy for starting, it's a whole thing. Your habit can only last 120 seconds. One of my readers used this strategy to lose over 100 pounds. In the beginning, he went to the gym each day. However, he told himself he is not allowed to stay there for more than 5 minutes. He would go to the gym, exercise for 5 minutes, and leave as soon as his time was up. After a few strokes, he looked around and thought, well, I'm always coming here anyway. I might as well start staying a little longer. A few years later, the weight was gone. Journaling provides another example. Nearly everyone can benefit from getting their thoughts out of their head and onto the paper. However, the most people give up after a few days or avoid it entirely because journaling feels like a chore. The secret is to always stay below the point where it is feel like a work. Greg McCoy, a leadership consultant from the United Kingdom, built a daily journaling habit by specifically writing less than he felt like. He always stopped journaling before it seemed like a hassle. Ernest Hemingway believed the similar advice for any good writing. The best way is to always stop when you are going good, he said. Strategies like this work for another reason too. They enforce the identity you want to build. When you want to show up the gym 5 days in a row, even if it's for 2 minutes, you are casting vote for a new identity. You are not worried about getting in shape. You are focused on becoming the type of person who does not miss workouts. You're taking the smallest action that confirms the type of person you want to be. We rarely think about changing this way because everyone is consumed by end goal. However, one push up is better than not exercising. 1 minute of guitar practice is better than none at all. 1 minute of reading is better than never picking up a book. It's better to do less than you hope than do nothing at all. At some point, once you've established the habit you are showing up each day, you can combine 2 minute rule with a technique we call habit shaping to scale your habit back towards your ultimate goal. Start by mastering the first 2 minutes of the smallest version of the behavior. Then advance to the intermediate steps and repeat the process. Focus on just first 2 minutes and mastering the stage before moving to the next level. Eventually, you will end up with the habit you had originally hoped to build, still keeping your focus where it should be, on the first 2 minutes of the behavior. Examples of habit shaping. Phase 1, become be home, how to become an early riser, how to become vegan, and starting to exercise. I'm gonna read starting to exercise as it relates to me and my current state. Phase 1, change the workout clothes. 2, step out the door. 3, drive to the gym, exercise for 5 minutes and leave. 4, exercise for 15 minutes, at least once per strong. Exercise 3 times per strong. Nearly any larger goal can be transformed into 2 minutes behavior. I want to live a healthy and long life. I need to stay in shape. I need to exercise. I need to change into workout clothes. I want to have a happy marriage. Then I need to have a good partner. Then should do something each day to make my partner's life easier. And I should meal plan for the next strong. Whenever you're struggling to stick with a habit, you can employ 2 minutes rule. It's a simple way to make your habits easy. Chapter summary. Habits can be completed in few seconds, however, continue to impact your behavior for minutes or hour afterwards. Many habits occur at decisive moments, choices that are like a fork in the road and either send you in the direction productive or unproductive one. The 2 minutes rule states when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The more you ritualize the beginning of the process, the more likely it becomes that you slip into the state of deep focus that is required to do a great thing. Standardize before you optimize. You can't improve a habit that does not exist. Thank you for the wonderful read. The next chapter is chapter 14, and we're gonna take it next time. Yeah, so again, it was the wonderful reading, and I'm glad that I did it. Um, I should say, ciao, ciao, take care, goodbye, sayonara, shabakar. Till then, nobody can set us apart. I'm eager to live a better life and I'm gonna keep pushing forward. I'm gonna change my direction now. However, I'll still keep moving. So, life is good and I'm gonna keep pursuing this dream of having a better life, improving myself relentlessly and becoming relentless in everything I do and everything I say, becoming a man of character day by day. And I'm strengthening it day by day. Thank you, everybody who's come and listened. I'm gonna conclude the session for today by thanking Holy Father. So take care, ciao, goodbye.